Good morning. I guess another beautiful morning on a Tuesday. Going to work. You know, you'd be thinking things can go smoother today as they were yesterday. You got a boss. You know, you kind of want to put your hands around his throat, you know. But no, you got a job. You got kids. You got a family. So you gotta keep on trucking. Keep on going, I guess. No matter how painful it's gonna be. No matter how much hell your boss puts you through. You still got one thing in mind. You got a family to feed. Bills to pay. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and wonder, is this crap even worth it? And, I don't know. My boss kind of gave me hell last week. Yeah. But I can tell you this. I spent my whole life working for people. And you'd be thinking, maybe there's something more than that. It ain't. But I can tell you this though. It wasn't for the support of my wife and the support of God above, yeah, I would be screwed. Totally messed up. I get comfort even when I go home. Sometimes. You have hell when you're out there trying to please the boss. You go home and get hell when you get home. You're talking about depression. You just kind of wonder about, is this all life is? But it's not. At least I can say one thing for sure. God opened my eyes up in a whole bunch of ways. He has showed me things that I haven't even thought of. A blessing of God, how great things are. Yeah, I'm actually gonna tell you here on YouTube. I work at the water department up here in Broken Bow. And me and her's on our luck. Me and the wife is. Got bills to pay. And of course, everybody knows, we only get paid bi-weekly, so you're only going to get paid only two times a month. Well, trying to figure out what we're going to do. Bills is behind. We got to pay something. And of course, the electric company, a-holes, they don't want to kind of work with you. Even the water department, they want that damn $5 money that you don't got. Pretty sad how this world comes to. But we gotta face reality, Part of life. Well, a miracle happened. I could say a blessing came. Where we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're struggling. Our electric was going to be cut off this morning, and those stupid crazy mother effers doesn't want to wait until I get paid, which will be tonight. You know, they didn't want to wait. Oh yeah, we're going to cut it off. Who cares? We don't care if we got kids. We don't care if you got people living in your house who's on certain machines who have to have electric. I guess an electric company really doesn't give a damn unless you make that payment. That's all it is. Insurance companies wants to pay high dollar bills. I mean, want to pay me. I mean, wants to charge you high dollar for insurance on your car. Explain to me why I spent a whole damn time after a severe car wreck I've been through. I went through living hell. Yeah. Just trying to get my insurance company to do the right thing. You'd be thinking spending about $500-600 a month on insurance would actually help cover most of your vehicles and everything. Oh no. You got to fight to get that. You got to prove that you're not guilty. Make it prove that you didn't cause the accident. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, God, man. You shouldn't have to go through all that hell. You shouldn't have to go through all that just for your, insurance for a vehicle. Crazy. But it's the law. You can't drive without them. So here I am driving my insurance. They really were shit. So I have an idea. I thought about, I don't know, a lot of y'all people probably going to be bitching at me on this one. But I'm looking at it, if they're not going to pay high dollar, if they're not going to pay for your vehicle, what's the point of having full coverage? I'm just going to drop my insurance down to liability. Because I feel like that's all I'm got is liability. Instead of paying $400, $500, $600 a month, I just pay only $200, $300. If it all comes down to it. But anyway, I'm kind of rattling on. I'm kind of pissed off this morning, to be honest with you. But that's how it goes. But anyway, back to what I was saying earlier. We had something that came in our bank. It actually came in about, it was at 6, 7 o'clock last night. I seen it, and I told my wife, I said, unless you got a payment that came in, or did I get a payment that came in? I'm trying to figure out where the payment came from. And nobody knows. It wasn't from my job. It wasn't from hers. And I'm thinking, surely it ain't, from some of the things that we filed. It wasn't. We don't know where it came from. We called the bank. It shows that it came from a payment that she paid, which it was kind of overdue or something like that. And they actually told us that we got a refund for that. I tell you how God moves in mysterious ways. First thing we did was how much we owed. We come to my bill, and we was able to work out an agreement where we was able to keep our power on. We got somebody who lives in our house who's on dialysis. They got to have that. They have to have the electric. Well, we was able to pay it, half of it. And we are going to pay the rest of it next month. So now, here we are. God works in mysterious ways. And found out all this time that they're going to give our whole payment back because we never applied for what they're asking. We have never, we didn't even know why we paid them. One thing I can say is that it's a lesson well learned. Don't let your kids play with your debit cards. Don't let them deal with stuff they should be dealing with. They're going to put you in so much of a hole you'd never believe. It's how it goes. But anyway, that was the blessing that God gave us. Looking for the white man. Yeah, you heard me say that right. That's how my wife puts it. Right now, they're working for the white man. Well, hon, here's the problem. I might look white. I might be a little German, and you can see that in me. But in reality, I'm actually Native American. She started laughing, and she said, hon, she said, oh, you criticize your people. I said, I ain't criticizing my people. Hell, I work for them. I have the right to say who I want to be. I work for the white person. I'm Native American. I don't show it, but I am. But, a lot of funny things have hit. And this is like at my job site. I was telling my boss the other day, I said, man, look at this. Look. I said, you need to get off my ass, man. I work at a waste department. And he gets on my ass more and more time. And like I told him, I ain't doing that shit. I said, what's going to happen? They're going to wind up coming out there. They can see you floating in and out, bucket of shit. I was over there trying to clean up. Y'all be floating in it. I won't be, because I'll be clocking out and going home. I deal with enough crap when I get home. Does it come to work and deal with your crap? I'm not in the mood today. He looked at me like, what did you say to me, boy? I said, you heard me. He said, I don't know who you're talking to, but I looked at him, I'm thinking, what? Finally, I had to say it, and I said, dude, there's nobody out here except for me and you. And you're yelling at me for what reason? Yelling at me and complaining, but I didn't do this, I didn't do that. What's the station's numbers? And really? And what day was this again? I think that man's getting Alzheimer's. A dementia. Because unless he forgot, there ain't nobody working on that day. That's the day, it's a conference day. Weird, ain't it? Really strange. So, yeah. I guess on that day, all offices are closed. Unless he's up there doing stuff himself, as way I know of, I ain't going to be there that day. I don't think you're going to be there either. Lord forbid. He looked at me again, and then he said this, and I thought it was funny as hell. He said, I'm pretty damn sure that you was there that day, and I'm pretty sure I saw you. And I said, I don't know who you saw, but it wasn't me you saw. And I'm pretty damn sure it wasn't any of the workers either you saw. You know why I say that? Because I'm pretty damn sure that they were gone too. So, yeah. Talking about hell hits water pretty fast. He looked at me, then said, I'm going to write you up over being snotty and cute. I said, okay, whatever you say, Dad. Go right ahead, write me up. Don't scare me over having a good time. He looked at me again. He said, now you're trying to be smart. You're trying to be rude. You're trying to be... I just looked at him and said, man, dude, bye. I said, bye, you threatened me over a good time. I walk out the damn door and don't come back. I'll tell you what I did do, and I actually did. I was supposed to went to work yesterday, and he had me so damn frustrated and pulling my damn hair out. I caught him yesterday. I said, I'm not coming in, and if you want to write me up, fire me, I don't give a rat's ass what you do, because you ain't gonna hurt this hillbilly. I came from the woods, not the hood, but I came from the woods of Pushmataha, the Show, Oklahoma, raised up there in the country zone. I get more thrill out of doing hard labor, doing hard work up there than I've ever done up here. And you know what? And we got paid for it. We got, hell, I was making about $500-600 in one damn day. I come up here because the wife doesn't want to be up in the woods. So she didn't want, I call it God's land. She calls it no man's land. Well, to me, that's what I need to be in God's land. I don't belong up here in McCurtain County. I'm a hillbilly. I go out there and do things I want to do. I go camping, I go hunting, I go fishing, hunting deer, boar, you name it. And, you know, hell, y'all might make fun of me on this one. Everybody's out there hunting with 30-06s, 308s. Me, I actually hunt with a rifle that is so damn old. I mean, it's an 8mm. I hunt with an 8x57. It's actually a 7.9 I hunt with. It's accurate. It's a good little hunting rifle. I enjoy it. But, you know, the accuracy, it all depends on what you got to put your meat, you know, what you're hunting for. I'm pretty sure you can knock down an elk with it. Oh, that's an old gun. You don't want that kind of gun. You want a good updated gun, 308. Which is a good gun. I like rock 308s. Actually, I got one. I got a 270 too. So, but I kind of like the 8mm better. The 7.9. I like that one way better. One, it kicks. Yeah, it kicks. But it ain't that hard of a kick. I mean, I just recently got myself a Creedmoor, 6.9 Creedmoor. A lot of people brag about them things. And, you know, I was kind of skeptic on it because how I'm looking at it, it kind of reminded me of like a 243, I thought. And so I had the honors. I went out and seen one and I bought one. Now I just want to see how it goes. And I never hunted with it yet. I'm going to soon to get some ideas. One day I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. It's nice. It's an Axis. It ain't the updated one either. This guy was selling it. And I seen it, and I'm thinking, well, I needed to get the paperwork on this kind of gun and make sure it doesn't belong to him, because up in McCurtain County, you might buy a gun that might be stolen or used on a crime up here in McCurtain County. Almost every single day, there's something bad happens here in McCurtain County. There's something you don't kind of want to fuck with, excuse my language, up here, especially buying knives or pocket, you know. But yeah, I bought it, and you know, it's unique. I've had the honors. I shot it a little bit, and I can't believe the accuracy on that Creedmoor. Wow, you know, it's almost like it has a shell casing of a 308, but the bullet itself is a little different. You know, it's a little smaller than the 308. I can say that. But the casing is like the 308. Pretty unique. I'm going to try it this year, and I'm going to see how it goes. And, I don't know. One thing that scares me is that the thing does not whatsoever. That damn thing doesn't kick. And you'll be thinking words and knockdown power. Well, the knockdown power in it is actually the ejectile, the bullet. Pretty cool. I mean, but I must say, I was shooting many yards with it. as on my 308, it kind of knocks down a little bit on certain yardage. As the Creedmoor was right on target, and it went right on target for going on 500 yards, and that was unique. At 500 yards, I had to do something a little different on the 308, you know. But I am at work. I'm looking at my boss walking out the door, and I gotta be man enough to handle this shithole. So be with me. I'll talk to you guys soon. God bless. With God on my side, we'll be fine. If not, you probably will get another message saying I quit. Anyway, God bless. Amen. Peace out.